Mark Zuckerberg's new social media platform Threads had an incredibly successful start when it was launched on July 5th. Within just 7 hours, 10 million people had already signed up for the app, according to Meta's CEO. Sensor Tower, a market intelligence data provider, reported that Threads became the most downloaded non-game app on its launch day in the past 10 years. Furthermore, the app quickly gained over 100 million users. This impressive performance suggested that Zuckerberg, who has a history of success in the social media industry, was posing a significant challenge to Twitter's dominance. This all happened at a time when Twitter was facing various challenges under the ownership of Elon Musk. In just 6 weeks after its initial launch, Threads has experienced a significant decline in its user base. The app initially reached its peak with around 50 million daily active users on Android devices worldwide in early June. However, since then, the number has steadily dropped and now stands at approximately 10 million, as reported by the digital intelligence platform SimilarWeb. This current user count is less than 1/10 of what Threads had at its highest point. Additionally, Sensor Tower data reveals that the amount of time users spend on the app has also sharply decreased. On average, Threads users now spend only 2.4 minutes a day on the platform, which is down by more than 80% from its peak in early July. Many notable individuals, including celebrities and regular users, have stopped using the app. Analysts are pointing out that Threads is struggling to maintain its cultural relevance and lacks the vibrant communities that typically keep people engaged on social media platforms. The decline of Threads, despite its initial success, highlights two key issues according to experts. Firstly, there are design flaws within the app itself that have contributed to its downfall. Secondly, the larger network effects at play are also a significant factor. To revive the app's fortunes, important updates will be needed. However, the road to regaining relevance and achieving the ambitious goal of reaching 1 billion users, as desired by Zuckerberg, is now a challenging and uphill battle for Threads. When Threads was initially launched, it had a user-friendly approach to onboarding new users. Many individuals didn't even have to go through the process of creating a separate account. They could simply import their existing Instagram information. This made it effortless for users to quickly see familiar faces in their Threads feed. The app attracted a wide range of users, including celebrities, politicians, and news outlets, who saw it as a convenient way to gain attention and engage with their audience. Mark Zuckerberg himself promoted Threads as a more welcoming alternative to Twitter, and the company's executives highlighted the platform's deliberate avoidance of heavy emphasis on hard news or political content. This approach was seen as an advantage for users who were tired of being inundated with negative stories or fear-inducing content on other platforms. The initial excitement surrounding Threads didn't last long, and it became challenging to persuade users to regularly open yet another app on their devices. One significant drawback was that Threads was initially available only on mobile devices and lacked a desktop version. Another critical issue was the absence of fundamental features such as hashtags or a search function, which are essential components of the functionality found on Twitter. Many users rely on these features on X to stay updated on current events, whether it's following news about Donald Trump's legal issues or tracking the Women's World Cup. Without these topic-based tools, Threads often gave the impression that people were having unrelated conversations with each other. This lack of cohesion made it challenging for users to engage meaningfully on the platform. Following the initial buzz, celebrities showed a declining interest in Threads. For instance, YouTuber Mr. Beast, who quickly became the most followed individual on the platform, ceased posting content 3 weeks ago. Even notable figures like Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who had 1.2 million followers, and popular gamer Pokimane with 531,000 followers, have not posted any content on Threads for extended periods, 3 weeks and 2 weeks respectively. This decline in celebrity engagement signaled a drop in overall interest and activity on the platform. Content creators who initially embraced Threads in hopes of engaging with their audience have since pulled back. For example, Kyla Scanlon, who shares economic analysis content with significant followings on platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, felt compelled to join Threads in July when it was gaining popularity. She began sharing her content on Threads and received hundreds of likes per post. However, the level of engagement on Threads quickly dwindled, causing Scanlon to lose interest in the platform, primarily because it lacked a desktop version. She explained that many Twitter users, especially those in the financial community she is a part of, prefer to scroll through their feeds on their computer during the day. The absence of a desktop option on Threads posed a significant obstacle for her and others who relied on this browsing habit, contributing to the platform's decline in popularity among content creators. Kyla Scanlon gradually lost interest and stopped posting on the platform about 3 weeks ago. She admitted that she had mostly forgotten about Threads and hadn't thought about it recently. The only reason it's resurfacing in discussions now is because Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are involved in a competitive battle related to social media. Many Threads users have noticed that the platform seems to be dominated by brands and content managers rather than having a vibrant community of organic content creators. Kevin Driscoll, a professor at the University of Virginia, pointed out that Threads hasn't seen anything resembling the cultural significance of a phenomenon like Black Twitter, which had a significant influence on public discourse over the last decade or so. Now let's see if there are any glimmers of hope. On July 17th, Mark Zuckerberg indirectly acknowledged that Threads has experienced a slowdown in its user base, but he remained optimistic about the platform's future. He mentioned that tens of millions of people were returning to Threads daily, which, according to him, exceeded their initial expectations. Zuckerberg drew a comparison between Threads and Meta's flagship platforms, Facebook and Instagram, implying that Threads was following a familiar growth trajectory. He indicated that the focus at the moment was on stabilizing the platform, and once that was achieved, they would concentrate on expanding the Threads community. Zuckerberg referred to a similar strategy they had successfully employed with other Meta products like Facebook, Instagram, Stories and Reels. Furthermore, Zuckerberg announced upcoming features for Threads, including the addition of search and web functions in the next few weeks. He also mentioned that users would soon be able to share Threads posts via Instagram direct messages. These announcements were likely made to reassure users and stakeholders about the platform's future improvements and potential for growth. Mark Zuckerberg may be using the example of Meta's successful turnaround with Reels, a short-form video feature on Instagram similar to TikTok, to suggest that Threads shouldn't be dismissed too hastily. Last autumn, a Wall Street Journal report revealed an internal document leak that indicated that most Reels users had very little engagement with the feature. However, 7 months later, during an earnings call, Meta credited the 24% growth of Instagram to Reels and its content recommendations powered by artificial intelligence. There is a possibility that Threads could find success in different regions across the globe. According to Sensor Tower, the largest portion of daily active users on Threads comes from India, followed by the US and then Brazil. However, some experts like Dr. Driscoll argue that Mark Zuckerberg's approach of applying a similar strategy used in the past might not bode well for Threads' long-term viability. Driscoll points out that merely measuring the frequency of app usage or the time spent on the platform doesn't necessarily indicate whether users are genuinely satisfied or if Threads is fulfilling their needs. He suggests that using the same playbook as before, as seen with other Meta products, may not necessarily lead to a positive outcome, as past experiences have shown that users weren't entirely satisfied with those products. This perspective implies that Threads might need a more tailored approach to succeed in the highly competitive social media landscape. Well, that's all for today. Threads' future is uncertain, and it could improve and get more users, or it might not. What do you think will happen? Can Threads make a comeback and become popular again, or is it too late? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below and be sure to subscribe for more updates. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Your support means a lot to us.